No.
May I request permission of the Honorable the Chief Justice to commence the proceedings. The authorization issued by the Honorable Governor. Arif Mohammed Khan, Governor of Kerala, Raj Bhavan, Thiruvananthapuram, Order, 13th October 2021. By virtue of the provisions of Article 219 of the Constitution of India, I, Arif Mohammed Khan, the Governor of Kerala, do hereby appoint Sri Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, to administer the oath or affirmation in the form set out for the purpose in the third schedule of the Constitution of India to Sri Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran, Srimati Sophie Thomas, Sri Puttanveda Gopalan Pillai Ajit Kumar, and Srimati Chandrasekharan Sudha, appointed as additional judges in the High Court of Kerala before they enter upon their respective offices. Signed, Arif Mohammed Khan. May I request Sri Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran to occupy the seat beside the Honorable the Chief Justice to take the oath of office. The warrant of appointment of Sri Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran. By virtue of the power vested in me by Clause 1 of Article 224 of the Constitution of India, I, Ramnath Kovind, President of India, do hereby appoint Sri Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran to be an additional judge of the Kerala High Court for a period of 2 years with effect from the day he assumes charge of his office. Given at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, this 12th of October in the year 2021, 20th Aswina, 1943 Saga, in the 72nd year of the Republic of India. Signed, Ramnath Kovind, President of India. May I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to administer the oath of office to Sri Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran.
I, Chandrasekharan Karta Jayachandran,
having been appointed additional judge in the High Court of Kerala,
having been appointed additional judge in the High Court of Kerala,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
Thank you, my Lord the Chief Justice and Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrasekhar Chandra. Now may I request Srimati Sophie Thomas to occupy the seat beside the Honorable the Chief Justice to take the oath of office. The warrant of appointment of Srimati Sophie Thomas. By virtue of the power vested in me by Clause 1 of Article 224 of the Constitution of India, I, Ramnath Kovind, President of India, do hereby appoint Srimati Sophie Thomas to be an additional judge of the Kerala High Court for a period of 2 years, with effect from the date she assumes charge of her office. Given at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, this 12th day of October in the year 2021, 20th Asuna, 1943 Saga, in the 72nd year of the Republic of India. Signed, Ramnath Kovind, President of India. May I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to administer the oath of office to Srimati Sophie Thomas.
I, Sophie Thomas,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
Thank you, my Lord the Chief Justice and Honorable Mrs. Justice Sophie Thomas. Now may I request Sri Puthanveedu Govalapillai Ajit Kumar to occupy the seat beside the Honorable the Chief Justice to take the oath of office. The warrant of appointment of Sri Puthanveedu Govalapillai Ajit Kumar. By virtue of the power vested in me by Clause 1 of Article 224 of the Constitution, I, Ramnath Kovind, President of India, do hereby appoint Sri Puthanveedu Govalapillai Ajit Kumar to be an additional judge of the Kerala High Court for a period of 2 years, with effect from the date he assumes charge of his office. Given at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, this 12th day of October in the year 2021, 20th Asuna, 1943 Saga, in the 72nd year of the Republic of India. Signed, Ramnath Kovind, President of India. May I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to administer the oath of office to Sri Puthanveedu Govalapillai Ajit Kumar.
I, Puthanveedu Govalapillai Ajit Kumar,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or envy,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or ill,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my Lord, the Chief Justice, and Honorable Mr. Justice Puthenveedu Govardhan Ajit Kumar. May I request Srimati Chandrasekharan Sudha to occupy the seat beside Honorable Chief Justice to take the oath of office. The warrant of appointment of Srimati Chandrasekharan Sudha. By virtue of the power vested in me by Clause 1 of Article 224 of the Constitution of India, I, Ramnath Kovind, President of India, do hereby appoint Srimati Chandrasekharan Sudha to be an additional judge of the Kerala High Court for a period of 2 years, with effect from the date she assumes charge of her office. Given at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, this 12th day of October in the year 2021, year has been 1943 saga, in the 72nd year of the Republic of India. Signed, Ramnath Kovind, President of India. May I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to administer the oath of office to Srimati Chandrasekharan Sudha.
I, Chandrasekharan Sudha,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
having been appointed additional judge of the High Court of Kerala,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment,
that I will duly and faithfully and to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or envy,
perform the duties of my office without fear or favor, affection or envy,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws.
Thank you, my Lord, the Chief Justice, and Honorable Mrs. Justice Chandrasekharan Sudha. Now, may I request Learned Advocate General to offer the ceremonial welcome speech. Please, sir.
Honorable the Chief Justice of Kerala, Mr. Justice S. Mani Kumar. The Honorable Mr. Justice C. Jayachandran, Honorable Mrs. Justice Sophie Thomas, the Honorable Mr. Justice P.G. Ajit Kumar, Honorable Mrs. Justice C.S. Sudha, the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Kerala, the President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Chairman of the Bar Council of Kerala, the President Kerala High Court Senior Advocates Association, the President Federation of Women Lawyers Kerala Chapter, law officers of the state, Assistant Solicitor General, Senior Servicemen, Standing Counsel, Taxes, and other law officers of the central government, senior advocates, esteemed fellow members of the bar, Registrar General, Registrar and staff of the High Court, staff of the Advocate General's office, advocates, clerks, family members of the newly sworn judges, all other dignitaries joining online, ladies and gentlemen. In the recent past, collegial recommendations for judicial appointments gained immense momentum of unprecedented pace. Our apex court with all its listeners is turning every stone to get the vacancies in judgeships of the constitutional courts filled up. The Honorable Chief Justice of India, while speaking at the launch of Pan-India Awareness and Outreach Campaign on 2nd October 2021, conducted under the auspices of the National Legal Services Authority, reminded the Union Government of the pending recommendations made by the Collegium of the Honorable Apex Court for filling up of vacancies of judgeships at various high courts. This apparently resulted in a fast-paced response of the Union Government, which in a spate issued notifications of appointments of judges in various high courts. It is true that there have been instances of the Union Executive splitting up the collegium resolutions of late more rapidly by notifying the appointments of some, whereas withholding those of certain others. Anxious voices have been raised by those concerned with probity in judicial appointments regarding a pick-and-choose policy in such splitting up of resolutions. Such concerns cannot be said to be unjustified also. I am certain that our Apex Court will soon take a call on that too. The ardent initiative of the Honorable Apex Court to have all the high courts in the country functioning at their sanctioned strengths, propelled by the realization that judicial vacancies also contribute to the ever-burgeoning backlog of cases and hamper easy access of common man to justice, have resulted in 5 erudite and efficient juries being sworn in as judges of this honorable court within a short interval of less than 2 weeks, and many more are expected to come soon. With the elevation of Your Lordship Justice C. Jayachandran, Justice Sophie Thomas, Justice P.G. Ajit Kumar, and Justice C.S. Sudha to the august office of the judgeship of this honorable court today, for the first time in the 6.5 decades of its history, the actual sitting judge strength of this honorable court has risen to 41, with the strength of women judges also rising to 6. 6 women judges in our High Court cannot be said to be reflective of the demographic proportion of women in our state. In a state where female infanticide is absent, where enrollment of girls in schools and colleges are near to total, if not total, where women substantially find representation in public employment, and that too in many instances outnumbering men, the fact that there are only 6 women judges in the High Court, with only one among their ladyship directly elevated from the bar, is definitely a matter for thought, if not of concern. Of course, the silver lining is that we have a Chief Justice in the country who has openly advocated 50% reservation of women in judicial appointments, which according to his lordship is by way of a right and not a charity. This ovation speech in continuation of the swearing-in ceremony is to felicitate the new judges and accord them a welcome to the grandeur and majesticity of this temple of justice. For His Lordship Justice C. Jayachandran, it might in all respects be a homecoming, a return to roots, insofar as His Lordship was a member of the High Court Bar before joining the Kerala Higher Judicial Service as a District and Sessions Judge. His Lordship, a native of Kadigallu, near Aluva in Ernakulam district, was born on 28/5/1972 to Sri R. Chandrasekharan Katka and Srimati L. Lakshmi Kuttiyamma. His Lordship had schooling at Vidyadhiraja Vidyabhavan EM High School, Aluva, completed pre-degree course from Union Christian College, Aluva, and graduated in chemistry from St. Edward's College, Ernakulam. His Lordship graduated in law from Kerala Law Academy, Law College, Tiruvallur. His Lordship, for excellence in academics, was conferred with Sachivottama Shashtivorthi Memorial Prize and Justice Muthunayakan Memorial Prize. On being enrolled as a lawyer in 1997, His Lordship started practice under Advocate C.P. Joseph, a celebrated senior lawyer. Later, His Lordship joined as a partner of Advocate Reggie George and Associates, and subsequently set up an office with his brother-in-law, Advocate Parthasarathi, and while so was appointed as a District and Sessions Judge. His Lordship's election as a District and Sessions Judge was preceded by a litigation, which His Lordship had to undertake against the Administrative Committee of this Honourable Court to establish that in the matter of selection of District and Sessions Judges, absolute merit stood on a higher pedestal than substituted merit, augmented by moderation policy of the examining authority. His Lordship commenced his higher judicial service as the Second Additional District and Sessions Judge Tiruvallur in 2011, which, but for the aforementioned moderation policy to the exclusion of merit, would have happened 2 years before in 2009. It is ironical that His Lordship's elevation to this Honourable Court was also preceded by another litigation which went up to the Honourable Supreme Court, this time for establishing His Lordship's seniority. In his tenure in the higher judicial service, His Lordship officiated as the Member Secretary Kelsa, was Enquiry Commissioner and Special Judge for Vigilance Case of Thrissur, was Additional District Judge Kollam, and also served as Principal District and Sessions Judge at Kollam, Tiruvallur and Kottayam. His Lordship is married to Srimati Anima B., daughter of Justice R. Bhaskaran, former Judge of this Honourable Court, and they have been blessed with their son Krishna Prasad Jayachandra. Her Lordship Justice Sophie Thomas was born on 13/2/1963 into a family of agriculturists at Vadakulam near Vattula. After graduating in zoology, Her Lordship completed her law from Government Law College, Ernakulam. Her Lordship commenced her practice as Junior Associate to Advocate M. Thomas at Tiruvallur. Her Lordship joined judicial service on 25/2/1991 as the Judicial Magistrate of the Second Class in the Court of Judicial First Class Magistrate First 1 at Mavelikara, after standing high in the order of merit in the selection test, and later on 1/1/92 became a Judicial Magistrate at the First Class there. Her Lordship, in over the 3 decades of career in the District Judiciary, officiated as Municip at Perumbavoor and Thrissur, as Judicial First Class Magistrate at Vadagara and Vaikam, as Subordinate Judge at Ernakulam and Vattula, as Additional Sessions Judge in charge of the trial of Marat cases at Kozhikode, as Judge of the Family Court at Ettumanoor, as Presiding Officer of Motor Accidents Claims Tribunal Alappuzha, and as Principal District and Sessions Judge at Alappuzha and Thrissur. On 25/5/2020, Her Lordship, with the vast experience of 29 years in the District Judiciary, was appointed as the Registrar General of the High Court of Kerala, becoming the first ever lady judge to occupy the position. Her Lordship's empathy and concern for those in need of care is thus epitomized by one incident that happened while Her Lordship was the Municip at Perumbavoor. Her Lordship provided maternal care of a baby that happened to be separated from the mentally challenged mother until the custody was entrusted with social workers. In early 2020, even before online courts became the order of the day, on account of the pandemic situation, Her Lordship's court went virtual by examining witnesses stationed at Melbourne in Australia through video conference. Her Lordship also upheld social commitment of Kerala judiciary by passing an order during the pandemic times directing handing over of contraband spirit to the government of Kerala for manufacture of sanitizers. Her Lordship is married to Sri T.Y. Paulos, an orthopedic surgeon, and they have been blessed with two children, Pranay Kaur and Priyanka Kaur. His Lordship B.G. Ajit Kumar was born on 4/6/1963 at Anchal as the second son among 5 children of late Sri R. Gopalamulle, who was a teacher in Srimati J. Thangaur. After graduating in science from St. John's College, Anchal, His Lordship completed law from Government Law College, Tiruvallur, and also acquired post-graduation in law from Annamalai University. His Lordship commenced practice in 1987 at the District Court Centre at Tiruvallur, at the office of Advocate Sri C.S. Sukumaran Nair, a top-notch and much sought-after lawyer of the Tiruvallur Bar, particularly on the civil side. His Lordship joined subordinate judicial service on 25/2/1991 as the judicial magistrate of the second class of the Court of the Judicial Magistrate of the first class, Chavakra. In His Lordship 30 years of career in the district judiciary, His Lordship functioned as judicial first class magistrate at Kozhikode, Attingal and Kochi, as municipal Attingal, Irinjalakuda, Neyatingara, as subordinate judge at Neyatingara and Alapura, and as additional district and sessions judge at Ernakulam. His Lordship was the first incumbent to occupy the post of Deputy Director of Kerala Judicial Academy on creation of the said post in 2007. His Lordship was appointed as Additional Director of Kerala Judicial Academy in the year 2015 and continued as such till 2018. Since November 2018, His Lordship has been working as Registrar, District Judiciary of this Honorable Court. His Lordship is married to Srimati V.N. Rama, and they have been blessed with 2 sons, A.R. Atul, an alumni of the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, and now working in Google, and A.R. Amal, a final year LLB student at the Tamil Nadu National University at Tiruchirappalli. Her Lordship Justice C.S. Sudha was born on 9/10/1964 in the capital city of Tiruvallur. Her Lordship's father, late Sri K. Chandrasekharan Nair, was a semi-government employee, and mother, Srimati P. Sulojana Devi, was the headmistress at the NSS High School at Palkulangara, Tiruvallur. Her Lordship completed school education from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Pattam, Tiruvallur, and graduated in economics from the Marivallius College, Tiruvallur. Later, Her Lordship acquired LLB from Government Law College, Tiruvallur, and enrolled as a lawyer on 8/1/1989. Her Lordship commenced practice at District Court Centre at Tiruvallur as junior to late Sri Kuvanchal Sadashivan Nair, who was a doyen of the Civil Bar of Tiruvallur. Incidentally, Her Lordship is the second junior of late Sri Kuvanchal Sadashivan Nair to adore the high seat of a judge of this honorable court, the first being Justice retired K. Padmanabhan Nair. Her Lordship entered the judicial service in 1995 after being selected as a municipal magistrate. In more than 2.5 decades of career in the district judiciary, Her Lordship served as judicial magistrate of the first class at Tiruvalla, Nedimangal and Alva, municipal Irinjalakuda, Ernakulam and Nedimangal, subordinate and assistant sessions judge at Perambavoor and Payyanur, chief judicial magistrate at Kozhikode and Talasheri, additional district and sessions judge at Kollam and Palakkad, and district and sessions judge at Ernakulam. While serving as additional district and sessions judge Kollam in 2013, Her Lordship proceeded on deputation as Registrar, Competition Appellate Tribunal, New Delhi, and later served as Registrar, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, New Delhi. Her Lordship was also the Additional Director of Kerala Judicial Academy, and later officiated as Principal Sessions Judge Ernakulam from 2015 to 2018. Her Lordship's husband, like B.V. Deepak, was an advocate and rector at the Supreme Court of India, who postulated at the height of his career in law while he was blooming on to become into a much sought after lawyer. I am sure that he will be showering blessings on my lord from his heavenly above. Her Lordship's only son is Karthik S.D., a lawyer. My lords, I share the happiness of this joyous occasion with my lord's family members, for whom this day will be ever memorable in their lives. On behalf of the entire lawyer fraternity of the state, I felicitate and wish my lords all the best in the judicial career. May my lords have the strength and courage to discharge the solemn judicial duties. Thank you. Take.
Thank you, sir. Let me invite the President, Kerala High Court Advocates Association, to welcome and felicitate the newly elected honorable judges.
Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice S. Madhukumar, other honorable judges, the newly sworn judges, Honorable Mr. Justice C. Jayachandran, Honorable Mr. W. Justice Sophie Thomas, Honorable Mr. Justice P. Ajit Kumar, and Honorable Mr. W. Justice C. Sudha, former Justice, former Judge of this Honorable Court, Justice R. Askar, and other members of the newly, family members of the newly sworn judges, Advocate General Mr. K. Gopaleshwar, Additional Advocate General Mr. Suk M. Surya, and Mr. K. P. Jayachandran, Director of Prosecution Mr. G. A. Shaji, Assistant Solicitor General Mr. P. Vijay Kumar, State Attorney Mr. M. Manoj Kumar, Senior Standing Counsel for Taxes Mr. P. Devendra Menon, respected elder members of the fraternity, Registrar General and other officers in the school, educators and dear friends. We are witnessing now the splendid occasion of 4 senior judicial officers entering the portals of this honorable court together to broaden and strengthen the justice dispensation mechanism of this honorable court. A glance around makes us notice a unique feature. 2 honorable judges who were present in the well of this honorable court in the last function of the swearing-in ceremony of this Lordship Justice Justice Balaji, which occurred only a few days back around the dais now. I need not say that they are Sri Justice Sophie Thomas and Mr. Justice P. Ajit Kumar, who were imparting strength and support to the administrative machinery of this honorable court in these trying days of COVID-19 pandemic. His Lordship Mr. Justice C. Jayachandran and her Lordship Mr. Justice C. Sudha were also not too far off from us. They were at the helm of the district court centers of Kottayam and Ernakulam, rendering their full institutional support to all the board steps of this honorable court. All the board steps of this honorable court taken to alleviate the hardships of the general public in these pandemic-stricken dark days. This felicitation speech on behalf of the bar is expected to be, as always it is, a line of eulogies, and therefore every person present in this hall and witnessing this function virtually will naturally be expecting to hear the resonance of the nicest of words to describe the virtues of the 4 honorable judges before us. I searched their credentials to make this speech a compendium of inspiring facts about their contributions and their present attributes, which definitely are worth mentioning. Without such a past, embedded with hard calling, speckless character, and a moral commitment to the legal profession, nobody can reach such heights as our honorable judges have now achieved. As far as His Lordship Justice Ajit Jayachandran is concerned, it's a homecoming after care. I'm sure that His Lordship was longing for these moments, not only because of the reverence commanded by the high office to which His Lordship is equated, but because of his genuine desire to return to the environments to which he is familiar and accustomed. Nostalgia is a beautiful human emotion which connects one with his past. The memories one cherishes will always be inspiring, as it is every good act and the experience of the past that gives impetus and confidence, courage to venture bold steps into the challenges one confronts in his present and in his future. Confidence in abundance will be instilled in the mind of your Lordship, in every spirit of a second, Your Lordship's strength in this institution. As you race ahead, fear cannot be severed from your past centered around this honorable court. A glance through the note containing your Lordship's details gave me an occasion to be especially happy, as both of us are part of the alumni of Kerala Law Academy Law College. But the years during which his Lordship studied there instantaneously pricked my heart, because though I was a teacher during 93-96 when your Lordship studied there, I did not get the fortune to be a teacher, as your Lordship studied for 3-year course and I taught for the 5-year course. The rich experience his Lordship acquired by serving in different districts in prominent judicial posts will be an asset for this institution also. A mixed feeling of joy and loss is what is felt by every member of the bar who had occasion to interact with Srimati Justice Sophie Thomas while holding office of Registrar General. As the President of the Bar Association, I had never had occasion to hear from any member of the bar about any sour experience about the Lordship. On the contrary, shout of appreciation and regards was my experience whenever the name of Srimati Justice Sophie Thomas came amidst the discussions in our courtrooms. This is not small an achievement, particularly during these days of the pandemic, when the differences on various issues the bar had with the High Court administration was acute in nature. I am doubtful whether I can succeed fully in expressing the regards we have for her, as the experience of the bar during her Lordship's term was really apparent. The individual in a judge has to become harsh when justice so demands, but he or she has to be simultaneously become compassionate and an embodiment of love and affection with all regards to human values. This is the virtue we respectfully see in Srimati Justice Sophie Thomas. All of us feel proud to have a judge who has not only a smiling and amiable disposition, but also a kind heart. A child in rags who was rescued by her Lordship through an instantaneous decision she took makes her a model for all of us. A human life is invaluable, and the position on holds has nothing to do with the duty to save it. Is the silent message her Lordship has given. The proportionate share of judicial positions for women in the legal profession is deplorably low, as it is a fact now reckoned by our highest judiciary. I am not forgetting the fact that conscious efforts are being made to make good these outcomes, but the changes require real acceleration. It is amidst this nationwide awareness that her Lordship, Civil Justice Sophie Thomas, has become our first woman Registrar General because of her supreme qualities and indisputable eligibility. 1991, 2011 and 2020 are crucial years in the career of His Lordship, Mr. Justice P.J. Ajit Kumar. It took 20 years after His Lordship entered the judicial service in 1991 as Magistrate to become a District Judge in 2011. After holding collective offices from then onwards, including that of Additional Director, Kerala Judicial Academy from 2015 to 2018, and that of Registrar District Judiciary from 2018 onwards. Now in 21, His Lordship has been appointed as the Judge of this Honorable Court. Normally, the bar does not know the presence of any other senior officers of the registry other than the Registrar General. His Lordship, Mr. Justice P.J. Ajit Kumar, has opened a new track. His admirable nature and softest efforts were always the decisive factors in assisting him to develop a bond with the bar. I can vouchsafe. My request to His Lordship is to maintain, and if Your Lordship succeeds in it, when Your Lordship leaves the portals of this honorable court, you are sure to get medals of love, regards and appreciation in the form of tears. Recently, I received a phone call from Srimati Justice Sudha when she was holding the post of Principal District Judge at Bangalore. The call was in connection with the implementation of the program of KELSA, the details of which was meticulously planned and explained by His Lordship about a week prior to the call. What impressed me was the earnestness and sincerity that echoed every word of his head lordship spoke about the details of the program and grant for which support and assistance were sought from the park, which was the purpose of the call. I am sure that Civil Justice Shudha was aware of the present assignment which she should take up at any moment, but that did not make her shy away from discharging the program of the district level legal service activities till the last moment of her tenure in the erstwhile office. It is this earnestness that we expect from her lordship while holding the higher office of judge of this honorable court and discharging the noble duty of dispensation of justice. On behalf of the entire bar, I convey warmth and affection and regards to the new judges. We congratulate you and offer you unstinted support in our joint pursuit for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's time for the prepared speech of the sworn honorable judges. First of all, let me invite Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrasekharan Thakkar Jayachandran for the reply speech.
My Lord the Chief Justice, Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, esteemed brother and sister judges, Srimati Safi Thomas, Sri P.J. Ajit Kumar, Srimati Sudha, for being sworn in today's judges of this court. Most respected, revered judges of this court, Mr. K. Gopalakrishnan, Learned Advocate General, Mr. Ashokan Charan, Mr. T.P. Jayachandran, Learned Additional Advocate General, Mr. P.K. Ravindranath Menon, Learned Senior Standing Counsel, Government of India Taxes, Mr. T. Shyamji, Director General of Prosecutions, Mr. Gracious Kuriakos, Additional Director General of Prosecutions, Mr. N. Manoj Kumar, Learned State Attorney, Mr. P. Vijay Kumar, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Mr. Joseph John, Chairman, Bar Council of Kerala, Mr. Thomas Abraham, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Mr. N. Subhanapalan, Learned Senior Advocate and President of the Senior Advocates Association, Srimati P.K. Shantanu, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, respected senior advocates, my dear junior lawyers, Registrar General and other registrars of the High Court of Kerala, Member Secretary KSM, Director Radio, staff of this court, members of the Advocate Clerks Association, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. There is a special providence in the fall of his parable. Shakespeare spoke through Hamlet. We are part of a grander design and nothing unfolds except in accord with his immutable plan. As per his schedule, I have just assumed this august office of the Judge of the High Court. I am fully conscious that this achievement is not on my merit, but on His grace. I kneel down before the Almighty for showering on me all fortunes and blessings to place me in this coveted seat. O Lord, please give me the courage to live up to the requirements and expectations of this sacred office. The Advocate General and the President of the High Court Bar Association have showered on me kind words of compliment. My estimation about my limitations and shortcomings persuades me to understand these words mean what I should strive to be rather than what I am. I am fortunate to have my parents, Sri R. Chandrasekharan Thakkar and Sri Lesh Putimma, presently to witness this function. Realizing the limitations of his son to speak highly of his parents, all that I want to say in the form of a prayer to the Almighty is to bless me to be born as a son of the same parents if I have a rebirth. I express profound gratitude to the collegium headed by Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, and the companion judges, Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Ravikumar and Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod in reposing faith in me and recommending my name as a judge of this great institution. I also place on record my gratitude to the Supreme Collegium headed by the Honorable Chief Justice of India for accepting the recommendation of my name. Several judges of this court, serving and retired, supported me at times of difficulty, and I remain obliged to them. I am delighted to speak about my most ever senior on this occasion, Advocate C.T. Joseph. Without this great soul, I would not have been in the legal profession at all. His care and concern about me was parental in nature than that of a senior. I am sure I was no less than a son to him, both his biological children being doctors. Dear sir, my days with you were extremely illuminating, and I still cherish to sit beside you as a junior to absorb the treasures of knowledge radiated through your words. My sisters L. Jayasri and L. Rajasri and their family have always been a source of strength and support to me at all times. I am grateful to them to have been born as their brother and to receive their care and affection in abundance. Sri C. Raghunandan, my relative in the paternal line, is the one who molded me in terms of my character, core values and personality. I am sure his prayers and wishes are always with me. I deem it a fortune to be born in a large but close-knit family, both on the paternal and maternal line, which instilled in me a real sense of fraternity. I am obliged to all my relatives. My wife, Anima B., daughter of a former judge of this court, Sri R. Bhaskaran, and my son, Krishna Prasad J. Chandran, constitute my immediate family. My father-in-law, Justice R. Bhaskaran, and brother-in-law, Sri Parthasarthi, have always been supporting me tremendously, particularly at difficult times. My brother-in-law, Sri Parthasarthi, and his wife, Seema, both are practicing lawyers in the High Court. All my relatives-in-law, including my mother-in-law, Srimati Krishna Kumari, my sisters-in-law, Srimati Lakshmi and Srimati Seema Parthasarthi, and my brother-in-law, Dr. N. Jayachandran, were always affectionate and considerate to me. I had a short stint as a lawyer in the office of Advocate Reggie George. Later, destiny bequeathed on him the onerous responsibility of defending and supporting me in various litigations which I was destined to undertake, besides extending emotional support to me. I am deeply indebted to Sri Reggie George on various counts, and I am happy that he is present today in this court. My birth and service was neither biological nor natural. I was destined to take up a course in connection with the selection procedure, which litigation culminated in my appointment in the Kerala Higher Education Service. Little did I contemplate then that the said litigation would be nothing but the tip of the iceberg. As an offshoot of the first litigation, I was constrained to pursue further litigations until my course was ultimately recognized by the Honorable Supreme Court in March 2020. I am obliged to all my dear and respected lawyers for their earnest efforts and support, particularly to Sri John Matthew, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India, whose commitment and industry is enviable. I felt that I was denied justice, which impelled me to fight, and I never had any ill towards anyone who was arrayed opposite to me, for I knew that whatever happened was not due to their wrong, but owing to the oddity of fate. It, however, remains ironical that the various litigations did little good to my career, which again I prefer to view as part of his design. I believe I was led by Providence to first experience the plight of fellow citizenry as litigants by picking me to defend a cause over a decade, to successfully redress a wrong that eclipsed the start of my career. With profound gratitude, I recognize the role of my close and intimate friends in sustaining and supporting me all through. I wish to conclude with a fervent request to the Honorable the Chief Justice, brother and sister judges, and the learned and erudite members of the bar to kindly aid me in discharging the onerous functions of the Judge of the High Court. I once again thank my friends, relatives, and well-wishers for gracing this occasion with their good wishes and prayers. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Justice. Now let me invite Honorable Mrs. Justice Sophie Thomas for a reply speech.
The Mighty One has done great things for me, and holy is his name. My Lord the Chief Justice and companion judges, former judges, Learned Advocate General, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, law officers of the Centre and the State, learned senior advocates, Chairman Bar Council of Kerala, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, esteemed members of the Bar, Registrar General and other registrars, officers of Kerala Judicial Academy, KELSA and Mediation Centre, dear judicial officers, staff, advocates, advocate clerks, friends, relatives, ladies and gentlemen. This day was made possible in my life only because of His providence and not because of my merit. Let me bow before the God Almighty for the blessings He had showered on me and having chosen me to occupy this noble and divine seat. Let me thank learned Advocate General Sri Gopalakrishna Kurup and learned President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association Sri Thomas Abraham for the warm welcome extended to me and for their kind words of appreciation. I am deeply indebted to the Collegium of this court, consisting of Honorable Chief Justice Sri S. Manikumar, Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Evikumar, now Judge Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran for recommending my name for elevation. May I thank the Collegium of the Supreme Court and also Honorable Mr. Justice Rishikesh Roy and Honorable Mr. Justice K. M. Joseph, Judges of the Supreme Court, for reposing faith and confidence in me. Looking back, I could see a beautiful village at Vadakulam near Muvattupuram, known as the Pineapple City of India, with long paddy fields and tall hills where I lived with my innocent and hardworking parents. While expecting for a son, I was born as the third girl child of my parents. Brought up in the modest background of a farmer's family, I could love the nature and fellow beings, experiencing the feelings and problems of common man, knowing their aspirations and its limitations, which helped me a lot in discharging my judicial functions with a humane touch. I am grateful to my parents for nurturing me and for instilling in me the virtues and values of human life and for molding me as a good human being. I am sure my father, late Elivichara Sri Matthew Thomas, and my paternal grandparents, late Matthew and Theresia, are blessing me on this occasion from their heavenly abode. My maternal grandparents, Kalapuril Sri Chakko and Rosamma, and my parents-in-law, late Sri Tannikoti Yohanan and Annamma, are also rejoicing in heaven with their blessings for me. My mother, Srimati Elikuti Thomas, was really a pillar of support and source of inspiration for me throughout my life. She is here to bless me on this solemn occasion. Her hard work and motivation helped me to scale the heights of judicial service up to this temple of justice. My sister Grace was a graceful presence in my life, and she stood by me in thick and thin. My sister Rosaline and my only brother Tiji were of great support to me in my personal life. During late 70s, a convent-educated village girl could not have dreamt of a career beyond that of a doctor, however brilliant she may be. As every bright student, I also intended to become a doctor by profession. But law came into my way quite unexpectedly. But soon I realized that it was the one destined to me. The Lord Almighty was gracious enough to fulfill my dream of becoming a doctor by giving two doctors to me, one my husband, Dr. T.Y. Paulus, an orthopedic surgeon, and the other my son, Dr. Pranoy Paul, an MS orthopedic student at Pariyaran Government Medical College, Kannur. I was the first law graduate in my family. After me, many of my family members pursued law. My brother T.G. J. Thomas, after graduating in law from Government Law College, Thiruvananthapuram, took LLM from Golden Gate University Law School, San Francisco. Last in that series is my daughter Priyanka Paul, who secured first rank in BBA LLB from School of Legal Studies, Cochin University. She followed me in judicial service and now she is working as municip at Pala. I am grateful to my family for the love and support extended to me, which helped me in discharging my judicial functions swiftly along with the multiple tasks of a wife and mother. I entered judicial service as second-class magistrate Mavelikara at the age of 28. After about 3 decades of service, I was invited to become the first woman Registrar General of this prestigious institution. I am grateful to the Honorable Chief Justice Sri S. Manikumar for taking such a bold decision and that created history by making a woman the administrative head of the High Court of Kerala for the first time. May I thank Honorable Chief Justice and all the Honorable Judges of this court for the immense help and guidance given to me in discharging my duties as the Registrar General. I may acknowledge with gratitude the full support extended to me by the registrars and staff of the High Court, especially my staff in the registry, Srimati Kausalya, Arun, Saumya, Praveen and Ajay. While working as Registrar General, I got the rare distinction of a mother signing the ID card of her daughter, and that also may become part of the history. On this occasion, I have to thank my teachers right from St. Little Teresa's Girls' High School, Vadakulam, up to Government Law College, Ernakulam, and also my LLM teachers. I started my practice as the first lady junior of Advocate M.M. Thomas Mundakat, an eminent criminal lawyer at Thodupuzha. His wife, Kochithuresia Thomas, was my professor in Newman's College, Thodupuzha. Thus, both of them became my gurus, and I graciously acknowledge their presence here, and I profoundly thank them for their guidance and blessings. In my judicial career over these years, many legal luminaries guided me with their wisdom and rich experience. May I gratefully remember the names of former Supreme Court judges, Honorable Mr. Justice K.P. Thomas, Honorable Mr. Justice Riek Joseph, and Honorable Mr. Justice Kurian Joseph. I remember with gratitude the brotherly affection and guidance extended to me by former judges of this court, Justice Paisi Kuriakos, Justice R. Basan, Justice C.K. Abdul Rahim, Justice A.M. Shafiq, Justice A.V. Ramakrishna Pillai, Justice K. Ibrahim Matthew, and Justice Hari Prasad. I am thankful to all the district judges and chief judicial magistrates under whom I had worked, especially Sri R. Gopalakrishna Pillai, district judge and former additional director, Kerala Judicial Academy, and his wife, late Srimati Rajamma, who were my godfather and godmother in my initial days of service. May I thank all my colleagues, staff, advocates, and advocate clerks of all the stations where I had worked for assisting me in discharging the onerous duties of a judicial officer, coupled with administration smoothly and swiftly without any friction. I am extremely thankful to the Bar Associations of Alappuzha and Thrissur, where I had served as principal district judge, and I still cherish the love and support they have extended to me. Over these 30 years of judicial service, what I cannot forget is the face of 4 innocent children whom I could save from the street, and I am happy that now they have grown up into adults and good human beings under the love and care of the institutions which adopted them. May I gratefully acknowledge the blessings of everybody who have joined this function physically as well as virtually. I am conscious of the great responsibilities placed on my shoulders, and I assure that I will do my best to meet the demands of this noble office, and I will do justice to the oath I have taken. I pray the Almighty to show me the right path and to give me the wisdom of Solomon to do the right things in the right manner at the right time. May I request you all to pray for me for the strength and courage to discharge my duties without fear or favor, efficiently and impartially upholding the constitutional values, and thus to serve the mankind, satisfying the hopes and aspirations of common man. May I conclude with a quoting from Holy Bible, chapter 31, verses 8 and 9 of the Proverbs. Speak out for those who cannot speak, for the rights of all the destitute. Speak out. Judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. Thank you, Satyameva Jayate.
Thank you, Honorable Mrs. Justice Sophie Thomas. Now, may I invite Honorable Mr. Justice Puthanveedu Gopalapillai Ajit Kumar for his reply speech, please.
Honorable Chief Justice, esteemed sister and brother judges, respected former judges, Sri K. Gopalakrishna Pillai, Advocate General, Sri Ashok M. Cherian, and Sri K.P. Jayachandran, Additional Advocate General, Sri T. A. Shaji, Director General of Prosecution, Sri P. Vijaykumar, Assistant Solicitor General of India, Sri P. K. Ravindranath Menon, Senior Settlement Council Practice, other central and state government advocates, Sri Joseph John, Chairman Bar Council of Kerala, Sri Thomas Abraham, President of Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Srimati P.K. Shantamma, President Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, Chairman Chidunapalan, President Kerala High Court Senior Advocates Association, Registrar General and other registrars, ladies and gentlemen. Learned Advocate General and respected President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association spoke good words of me. My sincere thanks to her. Born to a school teacher, I aspired to be in the same line. But the God Almighty had a different plan. Of course, in support of my father, who is now in his 70 above, and my mother, Amma, for not only me, but also all in our village did everything. My taking off today is a tribute to her. Teachers who taught me in the Government Law College, Thiruvananthapuram, refined my focus. I started practice at Thiruvananthapuram in 1987. I was a junior to Advocate Sri C.S. Sukumaran Nair. His deep learning in law and care for juniors are the reasons behind shaping my career. His gracious presence today gives me immense pleasure and strength. Advocate N. Prem Kumar, M. Nizamuddin, and late Vijay Fernandez were my senior colleagues. They, as well as other colleagues in my office, were so encouraging. My sincere thanks to all of them. Honorable the Chief Justice, Sri Justice S. Manikumar, has always been very kind to me. The collegium comprising Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Sri Justice C.T. Ravikumar and Honorable Sri Justice K. Vinod Chandran recommended quite in time for my elevation. Honorable the Chief Justice and other honorable members of the Supreme Court Collegium forward and reposed faith in me. I am extremely grateful to. I am much indebted to Mr. Justice A. Hariprasad, other former judges of this court, Mr. Justice Payasi Kuriakos, Justice B. Rakumar, Justice M. N. Krishnan, and Justice Kriti Shankaran have mentored me in every possible way. Mr. Justice N. K. Balakrishnan, Justice K. Prahamati, Justice A. M. Babu, Justice Ashok Menon, and Justice T. V. Anikumar have guided me like a younger brother. So did Mrs. Justice N. Anikumar and Justice K. Haripal. My deep gratitude to each one of them. I entered service as a magistrate. Science integration of civil and criminal judicial services, I would not have reached this position. I remember with gratitude the efforts of former visitors, Sri P. Muralidharan and others, for making the integration possible. Apart from my work, where I could find happiness is my family. My wife, Dema, and sons Atul and Amal cushion my stress to the extent possible. Sri Somadas, Dr. Balachandran, Srimati Seena, and Srimati Meena are my siblings. My father-in-law, Sri Nagendra Raja, is no more. They, as well as my in-laws, have always been considerate to me and careful in keeping my official life alive. Sri K.P. Sudhir, Registrar, Vigilance, and Sri K. Satyan, Director, Kerala British Academy, are so dear to me. Registrar, Srimati N. Anita, and Messrs. Matthews K. Neliveli, A.V. Pradeep Kumar, and A.S. K. John, Additional Director of the Kerala British Academy, K. Anandakrishnan Abhadan, IT Director Srimati Sharina Vijay Nayan have always been very helpful. I extend them sincere gratitude. I acknowledge selfless service of my staff members in various sports where I work. I cherish the sincere support rendered by the Joint Registrars, Deputy Registrars, and Assistant Registrars who work with me in the High Court. My regards to Mr. Sachil Kumar, Naveen Kumar, Srijit, Vaijay, Srijit, Hayes, Freddy, Daniel, and Sunny who have been with me in the register. I am aware the ultimate rule that governs every being is the effects of one's own karma. Success of a judge depends on how he profits from the erudition and experience of the bar. I know my limitations. I assure that in my humble way, I will put in all my efforts to discharge my responsibilities as a judge. Requesting cooperation and support of each member of the bar, I conclude. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Justice Mutyamudi Gopala Kumar. Now it's turn of Honorable Mrs. Justice Chandrasekharan Sudha to deliver the questions. Please.
The Honorable the Chief Justice Mr. S. Manikumar, brother and sister judges, Honorable retired judge of this court, Mr. K. Gopalakrishna Kurup, learned advocate general, Mr. Ashokan Charya, Mr. K. P. Jayachandran, learned advocate, additional advocates general, Mr. P. K. Ravindranath Menon, learned senior standing counsel, Government of India Taxes, Mr. T. A. Shadi, Director General of Prosecutions, Mr. Gracious Kuriakos, Additional Director General of Prosecutions, Mr. N. Manoj Kumar, learned State Attorney, Mr. P. Vijay Kumar, learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, Mr. Joseph John, Chairman Bar Council of Kerala, Mr. Thomas Abraham, President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, Mr. N. M. Subrahmanan, learned Senior Advocate and President of the Senior Advocates Association, Mr. P. K. Shantamba, President of the Kerala Federation of Women Lawyers, learned Senior Advocates, members of the Bar, Mr. K. P. Sudhir, Registrar Vigilance and Registrar General in charge, Directors of the Kerala Judicial Academy led by Justice A. M. Babu and Sri K. Satyan, Sri Nisar Ahmed, Member Secretary KELSA, Sri Johnny Sebastian, Director KSNCC, Ms. Selina Vitina, Director Information Technology, other registrars, staff of this court, members of the Advocates Clerks Association, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. My immense gratitude to the Collegium of this court, comprising of the Honorable Chief Justice Mr. S. Manikumar, Mr. Justice C.T. Ravikumar, presently Judge of the Honorable Supreme Court, and Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran for recommending my name. My sincere thanks to the Collegium of the Supreme Court, led by Honorable Mr. Justice N. V. Ramanna, the Chief Justice of India, for approving the proposal for my elevation. I am grateful to the Learned Advocate General and President of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association for the generous words spoken about me. On this occasion, I remember my father, late K. Chandrasekharan Nayak. I am sure my father in heaven would be brimming with pride to see his youngest child achieve this height. My mother, Srimati T. Sulojana Devi, I would have loved my mother to be here physically, but due to health reasons, she has been unable to come. My father taught me to aim for the stars, and my mother taught me to keep my feet firmly on the ground. I remember with gratitude all that they have done for me to make me the person I am today. My dear husband, late Sri D.V. Bipat, Advocate on the Court Supreme Court, was my rock. He would have been the most happiest and proud person to see me here. I really wish he had been here to share this moment with me. Thanks to my senior late Sri Coach Mr. Darshan Nayak for taking me under his wings, leading and guiding me when I took my first baby steps in the legal profession. I thank him from the bottom of my heart for reposing great faith and confidence in me and giving me the opportunity to argue, even in those cases where the legal giants of Tirumanthapuram Bar were appearing. My thanks to Advocate Ms. Rita Nair too, who quite selflessly led in my initial days in the profession. The Kerala Judicial Academy, earlier known as the Directorate of Training, from its inception in the year 1986 for 32 long years till November 2018, never had a woman among its directors. My gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Rishikesh Roy, presently Judge Supreme Court, and the then Chief Justice of the Kerala High Court for selecting me as the additional Director of the Academy, thus breaking the glass ceiling. My thanks to Mr. Justice N. Anil Kumar, the then Registrar General, for suggesting my name to the then Chief Justice. Honorable Mr. Justice V.S. Thirupukar, former Judge Supreme Court and later Chairman of the Competition Appellate Tribunal, New Delhi. Thank you, my Lord, for selecting me as Registrar of the Tribunal and giving me the much needed exposure. Honorable Mr. Justice G.S. Singhvi, former Judge Supreme Court and later Chairman of Competition Appellate Tribunal, reposed great faith and confidence in me and gave me a free hand in the administration of the tribunal. During my tenure there, I had suffered an unexpected great personal loss and was struggling to cope with it and was painfully trying to claw back to normalcy, sometimes failing miserably. The silent but strong encouragement, support and recognition my Lord showered on me in the work front was a great boost to me and helped me to a considerable extent to get back on my feet. Honorable Mr. Justice Kurian Joseph, former Judge Supreme Court, was instrumental in my selection as Registrar, Cyber Appellate Tribunal, my first stint in Delhi on deputation. Thank you, my Lord, for helping me in that venture, as that was the first opportunity I got to join my spouse in Delhi, along with my son, and lead a family life after I entered the judicial service in the year 1995. My gratitude to Justice V. Chidambaresh, now Senior Advocate Supreme Court, who has generously supported me and my family over the years. Thank you very much, sir. I am immensely grateful to Mr. Rajiv Kher, IAS, former Commerce Secretary to the Government of India, and former member and acting chairperson competition appellate tribunal, for all the encouragement and help you have given me, sir, then and thereafter. My son Karthik has always been my source of support throughout, especially after his beloved father left us suddenly and quite unexpectedly, leaving a huge void in our lives. My brother C.S. Suresh and my sister C.S. Sujitra have been and continues to be my Chetan and Chechi in the true sense of the term. Always rushing to my side to be there for me through all my ups and downs, encouraging me to reach heights and helping me when I've crumbled. My sister-in-law Geeta, my brother-in-law Suresh Kumar, my niece Shruti S. Kumar and Ashwati Nair have also played equally important roles in my life. Expectations are very high when a judge takes charge. I pray to God to give me the strength and wisdom to live up to the expectations. As in the words of Robert Frost, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrasekharan Sudha. Now the ceremony is over. Thank you, Jai Hind.